Portals, wormholes, stargates could be defined as providing connections between different places, times, or even dimensions. Some even consider the afterlife experience, transitioning from a 3D matrix, returning as a light body, to pure consciousness, as utilizing a type of portal. Historically, the very idea of a portal was purely only ever to be found in esoteric circles, or the content of science fiction. But this all changed in 2012, with NASA confirming their existence in a certain form. Although NASA's definition is still potentially far removed from the hidden reality and function of their existence. The inspiration for this video is partly due to Linda Moulton Howe, a very well established journalist, researcher in the area of ufology and high strangeness. Linda's website, Earth Files, has an accompanying YouTube channel of the same name. It was on the 16th of May during a live stream. She started to discuss her experiences and stories of portal phenomenon. Being such an established researcher means she carries a huge wealth of information, detailing people's experiences with covert projects and other suppressed phenomenon. Early in her career, Linda worked for CBS Network in Denver, Colorado. In 1982, whilst producing a documentary on astronaut training and the development of high technology based at Martin Marietta facility in Denver. A few days later after filming, an engineer from the facility contacted Linda with some sensitive information concerning technology he and his colleagues have been developing. The anonymous engineer produced a freehand sketch visualizing a slatted sphere contained within a brick surround. He advised the device was destined to be fitted in Sedona, Arizona, to counteract the collapse of the magnetic field found in certain areas of Sedona. The reason for the technology was to keep out interdimensional entities. According to the engineer, this is a naturally occurring side effect of a magnetic field collapse. Portals are prone to open up. Linda expanded on this intriguing concept with other scenarios. In 1997, on the 50th anniversary of the Roswell crash in New Mexico, she met the author of the book, Day After Roswell, retired Colonel Philip Corso. Corso previously worked under General Arthur Trudeau. At the time, they were tasked with seeding reverse-engineered UFO technology into the private sector via patents. This has always been a classic secrecy move by the military-industrial complex. In the private sector, sensitive technology can be easily hidden. During his covert duties, Corso confided in Linda that he knew of 9 sites around the world where the magnetic field had completely collapsed. This story correlates with other researchers' information. A good example is Kerry Cassidy of Project Camelot. Kerry deals with some hugely fantastical information that is far removed from the mainstream understanding. Many individuals' automatic response would be to discount it, laugh, and ridicule. But just because the information makes you feel uneasy and too untethered to reality, it in no way means the information communicated is false. Kerry was interviewed by Robert Steele, a former CIA agent, on the Project Camelot YouTube channel last year. This preceded Robert's controversial appearance on InfoWars, in which he started to discuss slave colonies on Mars. The following transcripts explores Kerry's detailed understanding of portals, collected over the years from varying insiders. Quote, Robert, how important is time travel and portal Stargate technology? And did we have a setback, as I've been told, in 2009 and 2012? Kerry, no, we did not have a setback. Portal technology, what is called toroidal physics, and time travel is absolutely a basis of the entire secret space program and going interstellar. You simply cannot go interstellar without it, so the portals are being heavily contested on Earth. You can think of Earth as a sort of honeycomb of portals. There are portals in places like Stonehenge, the ancient stone circles, and all of the military bases are built on portals. So are churches, in many of the cities, most of the cities, Dome of the Rock, etc. These are time travel portals. They can open up into stargates, wormholes, where you can bring things in and also send them out. And obviously you can jump through, bending space, etc. Robert, so I hear you saying that time travel portals are being contested. Who are they being contested by? Kerry, yes, the war in Iraq was all over the portal basically, that Saddam Hussein had tried to take control of, to let in a certain portion of the Anunnaki, that the secret space program did not want to allow in. And so they took down Iraq. They are now going to Syria. They are doing the same thing. and they would really like access to the portals in, I believe, Iran. Robert: now that is interesting. So what I hear you saying is that Middle East war is not about oil. Kerry: and neither was the Vietnam War. It was not about communism. I found out from one of my most important whistleblowers, Captain Mark Richards, who I interview in prison. He's been in prison for over 30 years, framed for a murder he did not commit. And I have 6 interviews with him now. And he has given me recent information that seems to be checking out, even with Vietnam vets. As I just did a show on this, and the bottom line is, the Vietnam War was created by a system of portals that have opened up in the Far East. Close quote. All subject areas are on a spectrum. If Kerry's information is true, it really does disintegrate the very foundations of what we behold as our increasingly fake reality. As mentioned earlier, NASA confirmed the existence of portals in 2012. This conclusion was discovered via NASA-funded research by the University of Iowa. They renamed them X-points, or electron diffusion regions. These X-points are formed when the Earth's magnetic field connects up with the Sun's magnetic field, thereby creating a path from Earth to the Sun's atmosphere 93 million miles away. It was through the NASA Themis spacecraft and European cluster probes that they discovered portals open up dozens of times a day, but most tend to be very short-lived. They found that energetic particles flow through the portal opening, heating up the atmosphere and sparking electrical storms on Earth. Freddie Silvler, an expert in crop circles, has speculated that genuine circles on average happen between 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning. Crop circles are largely prevalent in the United Kingdom. Freddie speculated circles form when the magnetic field is at its weakest. So is it possible that fields of information are projected through the portal and are responsible for the formation of crop circles? Witnesses of circles forming in real time have reported columns of light coming down from the sky. Is this light mechanism directly connected to the opening of portals to facilitate the creation of these enigmatic phenomena? There are so many areas of high strangeness that could be attributed to portal activity. Mysteries like the Bermuda Triangle, for instance, which stretches from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Bermuda Island, and Miami, Florida. Since the beginning of the 1950s, there have been reports of very large ships and even planes going missing without a trace. Are these again naturally occurring portals, appearing and unfortunately sending aerial and ocean craft out instantaneously into another place, space, or even time? Skinwalker Ranch is a well-known strange story within UFO research, which now has some very intriguing connections to the current landscape of the disclosure movement. The ranch is situated in Utah. Originally it was owned by a family. Around 1994, cattle mysteriously either disappeared or were found surgically mutilated. The family also started witnessing large animals with red glowing eyes, which were immune from any type of gunshot. Sounds like science fiction. The news of the strange stories travelled and caught the attention of billionaire aerospace owner Robert Bigelow. He eventually bought the ranch and used his organisation, the National Institute for Delivery Science, NIDS, to study the area in more detail. What they discovered was a periodic formation of Stargate portals which emitted a highly destructive magnetic field and was possibly responsible in allowing various entities to enter into our 3D matrix reality. The Montauk Project is probably one of the most fascinating enigmas of all the covert projects. It was the inspiration for the Netflix series, Stranger Things. In many ways, the alleged real-life version of events is 100 times more strange and bizarre than was ever conceived in the fictionalized version, which has proved so popular with audiences. The Montauk Project has early roots with the Philadelphia experiment, which set out to test cloaking technology on the USS Eldridge in 1943. Although the experiments were successful, with the ship fully dematerializing from this reality, but unfortunately, upon rematerializing, sailors were found embedded in the hull of the ship, or were permanently mentally disorientated due to the shift in realities, which was too much for the human brain. Much of the technology and people who worked on the Philadelphia experiment eventually merged into the Montauk Project, which attained its name from the area outside New York City. The experimentation was segregated to a military base, Camp Hero. The covert operation had a wide remit and was alleged to have utilized sound frequency theories and acquired alien technology. They developed an understanding and technological sophistication in influencing people's mood, behavior, by mind control. But in reference to the content of this video, they created time portals, carrying out extensive experiments in time travel, and even materializing entities via the power of the mind. Of all of the projects, it is one of the most fascinating, and it stands steeped in weird strangeness. So in conclusion, there is a wealth of evidence to suggest that portals are more prevalent than NASA would leave us to believe. 2018 is purported to be the year that disclosure may actually happen. One of the key players is Robert Bigelow, owner of Bigelow Aerospace, an organisation that produces expandable space stations for future NASA missions to the Moon and Mars, and whose company logo is a grey pop cultural ET. Bigelow appeared on 60 Minutes last year in the US, stating that aliens are already here and right underneath people's noses. His organisation is taking $22 million of public US Pentagon money with the help of Senator Harry Reid to set up the Advanced Aviation Threat Program, which was headed up by Louis Alexandro, one of the main players to Tom DeLonge's To the Stars Academy. In many ways, disclosure has already happened, with Robert Bigelow's ownership of the Skinwalker Ranch and the information garnered from other researchers. It could heavily confirm the existence of portals, which allow interstellar or interdimensional entities to travel into our world. The idea and concept of portals is a huge subject. Some insiders have stated that the Earth is located to a very highly prized and busy Stargate portal. This could account for the number of possible UFO activity in the sky that is witnessed by people on a regular basis. We could also touch upon the matrix of deep underground bases spread across the surface of our planet and allegedly connected up by portal technology. Some have also said this portal technology allows instant connections with alleged military bases on the Moon and even Mars. The link between the Earth's magnetic field and the potential connection and materializing of portals is a truly fascinating one. A few months ago, I looked into the effects of the Earth's rapidly decreasing magnetic field and a potential pole shift. If you prescribe to the idea of an electric universe, with everything existing with an energetic connection, the idea of a fluctuating magnetic field causing extreme weather, earthquakes, volcanoes, mass animal deaths, disappearing seas, and mysterious booms, adding increased portal activity doesn't seem so far-fetched. So as we edge closer and closer to an alleged shift, are the opening up of portals becoming more and more likely? And does this make us increasingly vulnerable to other nefarious entities? With the military-industrial complex struggling to find ways to mitigate and prevent entities of travelling here, in many ways it's easy to frame the military-industrial complex as the suppressors of truth, knowledge, and technology. But in this case, are they actually protecting us from forces that are hard to even comprehend? There is dark and light in all institutions. Duality.